So, in this conversation, I'd like to introduce a very powerful idea that hopefully is going to help people to clarify what they need to do in today's economy now that artificial intelligence is here. So, the insight that came to me is that competition is now computation. In other words, when you're competing for a job, when you're competing in your career, when you're competing in business, or even in your investing career, you're no longer competing by using your biological brain. You're using computation, you're using computers, artificial intelligence, software, expert systems, and those non personal resources and assets will do the competition for you. They will compete for you, they will perform for you. But first of all, you've got to create this computational power.
So you're suggesting that in today's economy, competition has shifted from relying solely on our biological brains to utilizing computational power, like artificial intelligence and software, to compete effectively. To succeed, individuals need to harness these non personal resources and assets to excel in their careers, businesses, and investments.
Yes, exactly. Now, of course, there are lines of work, professions, careers where the computer is going to have very little or zero impact. For example, if you're a model, right? It's your personality, your professionalism, your looks, your determination. All those personal qualities will ensure that you succeed as a model or as an actor. But there are other fields where the computer and AI and software are going to have such a huge impact that they're going to replace the human brain. So areas like finance, marketing, writing, um, e-commerce, those are areas where as you learn to use computers and AI, as you learn to create software and expert systems that do the work for you, um, you won't you won't have to compete so much. You won't have to exert so much effort because the computer is competing for you. And that's why I say that competition is now largely computation. And this means that people who don't know how the computer works, who don't know how to program, who don't know how to use ChatGPT to create software programs, they're going to be at a severe disadvantage.
So, in certain professions like modeling or acting, personal qualities are key. But in fields such as finance, marketing, writing, and e commerce, where AI and software have a significant impact, learning to use computers and AI effectively can reduce the need for intense competition because these tools can compete on your behalf. Essentially, those who aren't familiar with programming or utilizing AI tools like ChatGPT may find themselves at a disadvantage in this new landscape.
So, to give you a very concrete example, let's say that I'm competing in my teaching career as an email marketing teacher. So, let's say that I'm paid $80 an hour to teach, but I'm not the only email marketing teacher out there. There are tons of them, right? But what if I created a software program that helps my students and my clients to design and launch and run email marketing campaigns? I mean, that software can be offered for free. A version of it can be free so that users can see the power of that email marketing software. So in that case, I'm not competing against other email marketing teachers and consultants. It is my software that is competing on my behalf because I can release a version of the software for free and people can try it out and they can test it out. And if they like it, they can buy the regular version, which, for example, could be $97. So this is an example of how I've turned competition into computation. So competition is when I personally compete against other email marketing consultants and teachers. Computation is when I create software and expert systems that will compete for me, that will impress and serve and satisfy customers for me. And there can be a million of those customers. Whereas if I'm teaching email marketing in classroom, there's 20, 25 students in the classroom. So there's a limit on my income.
I see what you're getting at. By creating and offering email marketing software, you're essentially leveraging computational power to compete on your behalf. This approach allows you to reach a larger audience and potentially earn more than you would by solely teaching in a classroom setting. Instead of competing against other email marketing teachers and consultants individually, your software competes for you, allowing you to serve and satisfy a broader customer base. It's a smart way to expand your impact and income in the field.
Yes, impact and income are very good areas where computation is going to make a big difference. And I think that if people take the time and make a little bit of effort to learn about a computer, for example, you got to know what the Turing machine is. You have to understand how computers work. You have to understand how neural networks function, why machine learning is superior. It's not about manually coding the algorithm, it's about providing training data so that your machine learning AI can learn on its own. And so the good news is that you don't have to get technical. You don't have to learn Python. You just have to learn the basics of Python or other programming languages so that you think in a computational way. And computational thinking basically means that you're solving a problem so that the solution can be executed by other ordinary humans or by computers. That's computational thinking. And so if you learn computational thinking, that you won't have to compete personally, you won't have to show up at the office or spend time in order to make money. It's what they call exchanging time for money. You can exchange code for money. In other words, like I said in my email marketing example, I can send my email marketing software to people all over the world and they send me back the money. So computation is far superior to competition. So this is something that parents have to really understand, because if they want their kids to thrive in the new economy, which is going to be driven by AI and software, then they have to find a way to teach their kids about computation. And once again, computational thinking is not the same thing as programming. It's more high level, it's more strategic, it's a way of thinking, it's a way of solving problems, it's a way of working. So please don't understand this video as my exhortation that you learn programming. I used to program, but now I just write prompts and ChatGPT is writing the code for me.
You've outlined a crucial point about the importance of computational thinking in today's economy. It's not just about learning to program, it's about understanding how to approach problems in a way that can be executed by both humans and computers. By embracing computational thinking, individuals can shift from exchanging time for money to exchanging code for money, leveraging the power of AI and software to expand their impact and income. Teaching kids about computational thinking early on can set them up for success in the AI driven future. And it's great to hear that you're utilizing ChatGPT to streamline your work process. It's a testament to the power of these tools in enhancing productivity.
So let's take a very practical example of a woman who is trying to launch a business, right? Traditionally, a woman would write a business plan, she would get funding, and then she would get her business off the ground and she would compete against other businesses, against other entrepreneurs. So that's competition. And therefore, she is personally engaged in this battle because business is like a war. But what I'm saying is that more and more, she can outsource the competition to computation. In other words, if she, for example, downloads my software programs for product development, email marketing, marketing research, social media marketing, she can use the computation in those software programs so that it generates the perfect email marketing campaign for her, the perfect social media campaign. It can write the script for her webinars, her video courses. So she doesn't have to compete so much because the computation is done by my software programs. And this is something that women entrepreneurs and even male entrepreneurs have to understand. You don't have to compete personally anymore. Like, you got to take yourself out of the equation and let the software, let the AI do the work for you. Now, of course, you're still going to be involved in running your business. You're still going to be the CEO, but you have to outsource the technical and the tactical aspects of your business to AI, to software, so that you have more free time for your family, your friends, your children, your aging parents, your hobbies, your favorite activities. If you're a woman entrepreneur and you're spending 50 hours a week to build your business, you're doing it wrong. You have to learn to leverage the awesome power of computers and software and AI because they will be much faster, they will be much better, and they will be far cheaper than if you were to spend your personal time in building your business.
Business from scratch. So instead of engaging in intense personal competition, entrepreneurs, both women and men, can benefit from outsourcing certain tasks to computational tools and AI. By utilizing software programs for product development, marketing research, and social media marketing, entrepreneurs can streamline their processes and free up time for other aspects of their lives. This approach allows them to focus on being CEOs and overseeing their businesses while letting technology handle the technical and tactical aspects. It's about working smarter, not harder, and maximizing the efficiency and effectiveness of both personal and computational resources.
And the best news is that a woman can have a full-time job, a daytime job, which can be very useful for mortgage purposes because you can't get a loan from a bank unless you have a full-time job, right? So she can have a full-time job, and in the evenings and on weekends, she can use AI and software to launch an online business. And so that's why I believe that female entrepreneurship is going to expand once women understand that competition now is largely computation if you're working smart, if you're looking at it from an elevated perspective and you understand the contribution that AI and software can make to your business. And so, because of this ability to run an online business on the side and keep your full time job, and don't forget, AI and software are so powerful that the risks of going into business, the financial risk, is going to be minimal because you don't need to know how to do stuff. The AI is going to do it for you, but you've got to learn how to become the boss, how to become a chief executive officer. This is something that women have to learn. They have to learn how to speak the language of business, how to read financial statements, how to organize a marketing and sales campaign, or how to do digital marketing. But once they know how to do that, they don't have to actually do it. They can just ask ChatGPT and other AIs to do it for them. And that's why I believe that female entrepreneurship is going to expand. And also male entrepreneurs is going to expand. If you're a man and you have a daytime job, you can easily run an online business on the side and you can generate extra income. And by the time you generate, let's say, 30% of your salary, then you can consider leaving your job and, focusing full time on your business.
Absolutely. Leveraging AI and software to run an online business alongside a full time job can significantly reduce the financial risk associated with entrepreneurship. With the right knowledge and skills, both women and men can tap into the power of computational tools to streamline their business operations and expand their income potential. By learning how to think like CEOs and utilizing AI for tasks like marketing, sales, and financial analysis, entrepreneurs can effectively scale their ventures while minimizing the need for personal competition. This approach not only opens up new opportunities for individuals to pursue their entrepreneurial dreams, but also enables them to maintain stability through their daytime jobs, until they're ready to transition fully into entrepreneurship.
Now, the tricky part is that to benefit from this transition from competition to computation, people have to upgrade their mindset, their personality. They have to transition from being a worker to being the boss. So, what I mean is that you can have all the computational power in your hands, all the AI powers out there. It can do so much for you, but you have to know what has to be done. You have to become the boss because the boss is usually the person who knows what has to be done and why it has to be done. And the workers, the employees, are the ones that are handling the how and the when and the where, right? That's like the lower levels. But the higher levels is what do you have to do and why do you have to do it? So, to benefit from computation, people have to learn the basics of business. They have to learn, for example, the five building blocks used by chief executive officers all over the world for all kinds of businesses. For example, cash generation, profit margin, velocity, customer understanding. So those are building blocks that you have to understand and really master. And once you master these five building blocks, then you can outsource the tasks, the tactics, the techniques to artificial intelligence and expert systems and software and automation, etc.
You've hit the nail on the head. Transitioning from being a worker to being the boss involves upgrading mindset and mastering essential business principles. Understanding the fundamentals like cash generation, profit margin, velocity, and customer understanding is key to effectively leveraging computational tools in your business. By mastering these building blocks, individuals can confidently delegate tasks to AI, software, and automation while focusing on strategic decision making as the boss. It's about empowering oneself with the knowledge and skills needed to navigate and excel in the new economy driven by computation.
So, for example, when you look at most employees, I very much doubt that they have an intimate understanding of their customers because basically employees have only one client to please, and that's the boss. But to go into business, you have to understand the members of your target market. You have to have an intimate understanding, and that requires market research, it requires listening, it requires interacting with your customers. That's one building block. Another building block is profit margin. In other words, for every, let's say, every pair of shoes that you're selling, what is the gross margin? Is it 50%? Is it 30%, etc.? And also velocity. Velocity is defined as sales divided by assets, right? From your fixed assets, how much sales can you generate? That's velocity. And then there's cash generation. You have to be able to generate cash. And there's also growth. You have to be able to grow the business, go into new markets, etc. So these five building blocks are not understood by most employees, because their understanding of how to make money is very simple. I go to a job interview, I perform, I get a job offer, I start working 9 to 5, 5 days a week, and I get a paycheck every 2 weeks. So that's a very simplistic understanding of how to make money. And what I'm saying here is that people have to develop a more sophisticated understanding of how money is made, a sophisticated understanding of business basics, and then they can use ChatGPT to generate all the business assets and processes that they need in order to launch and run an effective business, a profitable and growing business.
Absolutely. Employees typically focus on pleasing their immediate boss rather than understanding the broader market and business fundamentals. However, transitioning to entrepreneurship requires a deeper understanding of concepts like customer intimacy, profit margin, velocity, cash generation, and growth. These building blocks are essential for creating and sustaining a successful business. By developing a sophisticated understanding of how money is made and mastering these business basics, individuals can effectively utilize tools like ChatGPT to generate the necessary assets and processes for launching and running a profitable business. It's about shifting from a simplistic view of earning money through employment to a more strategic and comprehensive approach to business success.